Hello all, thanks for watching this video. Today we are going to see about HTTP callouts by using flows. Yes, we all have already come across this task, achieving by using Apex code by writing the REST callouts and by writing the test classes, those kind of steps. But today we are going to directly achieve by using the flows. And there is also another way by directly calling the fetch method in JavaScript. But today, yeah, let's see how to achieve this using configuration tool, that is flows. Flows are becoming more powerful than you judge. Okay, so these are the actions we are going to see: get, post, put, patch, and delete. And there are two fundamental steps in order to achieve this HTTP callout using flows. So the first and foremost step is authentication, and second one is configuration. We're not going to see authentication steps with much details because I think you are all already familiar with creating the external credentials, named credentials, and permission set. But I will show you how to create those things and why we have to create those things. So today we are going to take two scenarios. So the first one is IBAN number validation, or you can also try email validation, those kind of stuffs. But I'm going to take this particular scenario. So you all heard about this IBAN number, right? So for example, if I'm going to enter the IBAN number and click validate, it will validate with the external system and then give us the result whether this is valid or not. So based on this, I just printed the message as valid. Let's give some random wrong number for this and click validate. So this will throw the error message as invalid. So this is what we are going to try as the first scenario for this get action. For this one, for the remaining set of actions, we are going to cover everything in one scenario. I will show you in the upcoming videos. But let's see, as I said, there are two steps. One is authentication and another one is configuration. So let's see what are the steps we have to do in the authentication steps. So the first step is creating the external credentials. So from the quick find box, just type named credentials and then click external credentials. So you cannot directly create the named credentials. For example, click new. Yeah, here it is asking external credential is a mandatory one, correct? So we have to first create the external credential before creating the named credential. So I already created one for this IBAN validation. Let me show you. So if you are creating it as a new one, just click the new button and give some label and API name. So give the authentication protocol as a custom because we don't have any particular set of authentications like OAuth or JWT or something. So I'm going to give us a custom one. So in the projects, it is totally based on the project requirement. So you will get much authentication protocol, those kind of steps. But I'm going to leave as a custom one. And next one is we have to add this under the principal, then only this particular set is available for us to add in the permission set. So these are the two steps I have done here. And next one is, as I said, we have to create the named credentials. So just click new button here. Let me show you the one which I already created. Yeah, this is the one I already created. So the best thing you can do is creating the named credentials instead of going for the remote site settings. I will cover this in a separate video why we have to go for named credentials instead of going for remote site settings. So this will be the most valuable interview questions you may come across in the different interviews. Many interviewers may ask you. Okay, so I provided the label, name, and this is the important step. We have to provide the URL. So I searched one particular website where they have provided the free API keys and everything. So this is the URL for this particular API. So I just log into this particular website. So they provided me the primary key, free primary key. We can make use of it. Once you log into the system, they will provide it. So please copy and store it somewhere. We can just paste it when needed while creating the flows. So just click documentation. So here in documentation, you can find like email validations or something. But as I said, we are going to take IBAN number validation. So let me click the dashboard again. Yeah, here it is. So just click IBAN validation and click documentation. So in the named credentials, we need the URL, correct? So just copy this one until .com. So always copy and paste the root URL, not this particular part. Okay. So this part may get deferred for each and every action. Like for get action, this may be the URL. For put action, this URL may be appended with something. So as a beginner, don't get confused. Just copy and paste until this .com for this example. So I already pasted until this .com, and make sure this is enabled for callouts. Otherwise, you will face some error in the flows, which I faced. So make sure it is linked with the external credentials which we have created in the first step. That's it. So we let's go back to this PPT so that I can show you. Yeah, we have created the external credential. We have created the named credential. We already added the principal. And final step is to enable these external credential in the permission set. Why we have to enable this in the permission set? Meaning, like if you want to assign this particular permission, like allowing someone to perform the callouts, you should assign those permissions set to the people who are eligible to make the callouts from your system. Okay, so let's go to permission set. So just create a new one. So I already created one permission set for this. It should be here. Yeah, HTTP caller flow permissions. So just select this particular one, external credential principal access. Yeah, and then add your particular external credentials over here. So I already added IBAN validation. So if you add this particular external credential principal access as a set, it will be available, like your named credentials and your principal, everything will be added under here. So it is good for the users to make use of it. And don't forget to assign this permission set to the user who are trying to perform the callouts. Okay, so we have completed the first part. What is the first part? Doing the authentication. We have completed this. And next part is configuration. So for this, we are going to create the screen flow. So you already saw the demo what we are trying to achieve, correct? So we are going to replicate the same thing. Just click new flow. And we are going to create the screen flow. Because why screen flow? So before creating the flow, there are multiple types available, correct? So we have to pick which one will be perfect for our scenario. So I'm going to select the screen flow because we are going to get some input from the user, then only we are going to process it. So that's why I'm creating the screen flow. Just click create. Okay, in the first step, what we need, we have to get the input from the user, correct? We have to get the IBAN number. This is what we are going to achieve. So just click this plus icon, click screen. We are trying to get the IBAN number, so I'm going to drag and drop this text and give the name as IBAN number. IBAN validator. That's it. If you don't want the pass button or something, you can just remove it. That's it. We have created the screen. So next step is what we have to do. We just have to send this particular IBAN number to the external system. For this, just click plus again and click action. So you already used this action most probably for using the Apex class. Like whenever you want to call particular Apex class from the flows, you may come across this particular action, correct? But if you notice here, there is one button, create HTTP callout. Just click this. So create we are going to create the external service. That's the first step. I'm going to give some name here. Okay, so there should not be any space. And please post the error messages if you face any during your practical implementation. Let's solve it. So the named credentials which we have created this IBAN xgrid. So you can see the URL, correct? In this way, you can cross verify whether we are referring the correct URL or not. Next one is we have to create the invocable action. So similar to the Apex REST callouts. So I'm going to give IBAN invocable. So make sure you select the method as get. Okay. So this is why I told just mention the root URL. You don't have to mention the path because we are going to add the path right now. So what is the path we left? Slash v1 slash. Just copy that and paste it over here. That's it. Do we have any query parameter keys? So if you are a beginner, you may think like, what is query parameters? Where I have to refer those kind of things. So you can check in the documentation whether you have to send any particular query parameters along with the URL. For example, this may not stop over here. So we have to pass some parameters in the URL. Then only the external system will validate it. Let's check. So these are the request parameters. The first one is API key and next one is IBAN number. Okay, so let's copy this. So just copy and paste it, don't type it because the format may get different. Click add keys. So for the first one is API key. So API key generally will be text. So we can select string that is required in this particular website. So I'm going to give as required. And next one is of course we need the IBAN number. Then only the system can validate, right? So give us IBAN. That is also string. That is also required one. So there are two query parameters. How I fetch the query parameters? Just from this particular website, they provided these are the valid parameters. Okay, so this page is completed, done. Let's click next. Okay, so there are two ways to provide the sample response method. I'm going to select the second one, use example response. So you can get the response in the website. Yeah, here they provide the sample response. Just click copy and paste it over here. So sometimes this is a simple response, so it's just a straightforward one. But sometimes you may face the error like this JSON is not in a proper format or proper shape or something like that. So make use of JSON formatter so where you can validate and correct those mistakes. Click review. So it automatically fetch your data structure. IBAN is string and is valid is boolean. So just click save. Okay. So what is this particular error? We should add some unique external service name. So this was the external service name I added in the first step. Okay, let's add like external service new. Okay, so now it's good to go. We are going to achieve get action in IBAN. Okay, so everything is perfect. So now we have to enter the value for the API key. So how we can get the value and where we can get the value? We have to create a new resource for that. So select the data type as okay. Instead of creating from here, fine. Sorry. So let's create the API key and data type as text, and the default value. Let me copy and paste my API key. So it will be unique for each and every user. So please copy yours and click done. And next one is IBAN number. So this we can fetch from the screen component. So we already added one input field, right? So we can add that and click done. And that's it. We are good to go. So in addition to that, you can add the decision elements. Those things are option. First, let's save this and run whether we are getting any errors or successful output or something. Let's click debug. So if there are any mistakes in your authorization part itself, then you cannot see this particular screen. You will get some error. So I think we are good from the authorization point of view, most probably. You can also generate another IBAN. So let's provide this. Click next. It should hit the URL and we should be able to see the response. Okay, let's see. So this is the IBAN we provided, and this is the API key we sent, and this is the IBAN number we sent to the external system, and this is the expected response. So this is valid. Valid equals to true, and the response code is 200. This is successful. Let's give some fake IBAN number. We should be able to see the response is invalid, like valid equals false. Yeah. So if you see this valid boolean, it is showing us false. So you should not just randomly check whether the response code is 200 or not in order to check the successful one. You have to check the response whether this particular is valid boolean is true or not. If it is true, then our IBAN is valid. If it is false, then it's not valid. I hope, yeah, this session is useful for you. This is the simple get request we can do by using the flows. That's it. Thanks for watching. And in the next video, I will post the remaining set of actions: post, put, patch, and delete. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.